Hello everyone, this is John Whitney. I am an agricultural educator for Cornell Cooperative Extension in Erie County. I work with some funding support through the Taste New York program, and I have among my duties trying to support some marketing activities and training. By the way, just for a little background, I grew up on a sheep farm in Allegheny County in Belmont, and I worked for what was the Soil Conservation Service and eventually the Natural Resources Conservation Service in Allegheny County and Schoharie County and Columbia County, actually it was the other order, and Livingston County and Ontario County, and then Erie County, and the latter few years of my career with USDA, Wyoming County was part of that, but I remained based in the East Aurora field office of the USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service. So that's my work history. I retired in January of last year, and then last summer started this part-time position with Cornell Cooperative Extension. I thought I'd introduce the topic just real briefly with the idea that many of us have been reminded over the years to mind our P's and Q's. And that's often meant to mind your manners or be on your best behavior or watch what you're doing or be alert or be in your top form, although those may apply. One suggestion for the origin of the expression, though it may be unlikely considering the common uses, is that it comes from the business world where it was short for price and quality. So for the purpose of this discussion, we'll use that one. Marketing cues, we'll talk about a little bit more. And P's, I think we actually briefly outlined 4 of those, but we'll think about some others. And C's, for me, the C is the piece that early on in the marketing, in the development of the marketing principles, was maybe not thought about as much as it could be. What the marketing theorists have done over the years in the marketing arena is moved from kind of a managerial based marketing approach to more customer driven marketing. And that's why I said early on, I think the C's are a really important part of this whole concept. But we'll start with the P's. So we'd already brought up product and price and promotion and place, but some other P's that came up in the chats and that we can think of and that the practitioners and theorists have talked about include packaging and people and process and physical evidence and preference and personalization and performance and pervasive. That's another word that's thrown out to kind of capture some of the P concepts, and persuasive, and who knows, there are dozens of others that people could come up with, but that's kind of a list that the marketing references often pull out. On the Q side, Q kind of drives this whole marketing concept anyway. If you think about what we talked about at the very beginning, that P's and Q's might have even meant price and quality. The marketing cues include quality or quantity and quickness, quantification and qualification. Again, there may be others that folks came up with. I don't think that Q is supposed to be quackery. That snake oil salesman idea, not so much, although it is a Q, one that I hope that we can avoid. On the C side, again, I think C is really where our focus has moved to, especially as we moved from the ideas of marketing from a production and managerial side to the customer focus side. So the first big C is the consumer or the customer, and costs and convenience and communication and commodity and channel, meaning what method you use, and again, other C's, but that's kind of the group that the marketing theorists have landed around: consumer, cost, convenience, communication, commodity, and channel. I think there's some other considerations too as we talk through this idea a little bit, and maybe especially right now it's on everybody's mind. What are the health and safety protocols associated with our marketing strategies, those P's, Q's, and C's, and COVID-19 protocols that may have to be in place that influence your marketing plans? Cost, obviously. Time is related to cost because time is money. What are your personal likes and preferences? What are your own strengths and your expertise, or your willingness to try something new, related to risk, and your ability to take on the technology associated with different marketing strategies? What's your desire for personal contact? Some online opportunities don't have a lot of personal contact. Some can build some in. Offline, just being able to walk up to someone and interact for sales purposes, that's one of those challenges right now. But again, it's related to this idea of how marketing fits into your plans. Much more driven by customers' wants and needs than earlier models. Again, that's kind of, I think, where we're at with the thinking of marketing these days. I kind of have maybe a personal perspective about marketing, and to some extent even a little bit of feelings of guilt over marketing. Yes, we have to move our products or sell our services in some way or another, but we also buy a lot of stuff. So kind of in the whole sustainability crisis concept, our wants and needs are not exactly the same thing. And so in terms of marketing, identifying wants and identifying needs and selling to one or the other or both is still a consideration. And as I said, we buy a lot of stuff. So yes, we may be marketing things that people don't absolutely need. Maybe that's perfectly fine. Also, in consideration of long-term sustainability, I'm hoping that we're at least adding value to people's lives. And again, in terms of the marketing concepts and how it fits into your own products and your own plans, are you marketing services or are you marketing products? And again, the customer-driven side of the whole marketing process really does align itself well, especially with services. It also aligns itself with value added because we're trying to address the customer needs and interests, in particular value products, kind of moving away from commodities to value-added products. So those are things that can fit into your marketing P's, Q's, and C's. And maybe the big one that I didn't put on the list before, but that we continue to want to emphasize, is plan. The big marketing P is plan. Work your marketing plans into your business plan, whether it's a separate plan or part of your business plan, because that, we believe, is what's going to lead towards a successful marketing initiative. I've listed a few references here, obviously coming from New York and from Cornell Cooperative Extension. We think that Cornell Cooperative Extension has much to offer. There are many others as well. Some references that we're using in this course come from Penn State, for example. You can see the optional resources in the Facebook group training units. They've been posted there. Many items are there for your use optionally, although we encourage you to take a good look at them when you have time. Internet searches. Search for marketing P's and Q's, and much of this will come up. Some of it by practitioners, some of it by theorists, some of it by businesses hoping to sell you something, or just sharing good marketing information. Sarah Marketing for Profit Tools for Success, that online-based training program, much of that curriculum we've made available through this unit. You can sign up to do that officially through the resources and links that will be available to you. And if you took a marketing class in college or along the way, there actually is marketing even often in high school, offered in high schools these days. You might look to your favorite marketing textbook. I don't have a favorite marketing textbook. It wasn't what I studied in college. I was a natural resources agronomy kind of a person, and that led to the career that I worked in. But now we're working in the marketing world. So There's some textbooks around, but they weren't my favorites. Wasn't part of my early on experience. Along the way, one of the classes that I took through the Natural Resources Conservation Service and the required training that we had to take was called Conservation Marketing Skills. It actually was a week-long marketing class, so that was my big early on exposure to marketing principles. And we talked about these very same topics, but in the context of trying to market conservation to people who may or may not know they want that added to their lives and their businesses. And again, there's some other references too. Cornell Small Farms Program, I think, has a really nice set of marketing resources available, and we've added those to your resource, some of those to your resource units also. My contact information is listed. Feel free to reach out to me. I am not the expert in this topic. I'm more a facilitator. That's the role that I can play right now, where we can get you in contact with people or bounce some ideas around as you work on your marketing plans.